Guys, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to talk about some of the TV shows that I have been watching lately. I really got into kind of a mood recently where I was like kind of getting fed up with constantly saying, I started it, but I haven't finished it yet. Oh, I need to watch season 2 of that. Oh, I need to finish this. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to actually stop saying that and start finishing some of these shows. So definitely just some things that I kept saying that over and over about the same show. We need to watch this and get done and be done with it. So I kind of concentrate on that a little bit. I also have a couple documentaries that I watched recently, so I'll talk about those. And I have some that I also DNF'd. I'll talk about those at the end as well. Okay, the first one that I finished was Mindhunter. I needed to watch season 2. Ooh, you guys, I don't know the status of this show yet. I feel like they have said it's done, but there have been hints of them wanting to continue with it. And I think it's like a budget issue. They're not sure if they're going to be able to continue or not. I really hope they do though, because you guys, the show is so good. This follows the start of the FBI profiling unit. So like Criminal Minds, like, you know, the behavioral science of it and discovering the patterns of serial killers and using those patterns to be able to identify who the killers could be and, just like getting into the mind. So like the whole profiling part of it. This is how it all started. And it follows these characters who are the ones who started this whole thing. It's so good. It is so good. Jonathan Groff is fantastic in this show. So, so good. It's very dark because you're getting into the minds of serial killers, and they use actual famous serial killers as characters in here. So you see them interviewing people. So in the first season, you saw them interview Ed Kemper. That actor was fantastic. Oh, it was so good. And so you see like, kind of behind the scenes of them starting to piece these things together and really study these killers. And then they're able to go into, the jails when these killers have been apprehended and talk to them and interview them and try to get inside their minds and kind of get their reasonings behind things and let them tell their story. Oh my gosh, so good. And season 2 was phenomenal. It was so good. There was Son of Sam in there, and there was Charles Manson. And the actor that played him, I knew who the actor was that played him, so I was excited to see it anyway. But when I saw him play Charles Manson, it was creepy how well he portrayed Charles Manson. Just his mannerisms and the things he would do that were just kind of a little off were just perfect. I sat there watching it. I felt like I was watching Charles Manson. It was creepy. It was so good. It was so good. I really hope that they can continue with this because they also had the BTK killer on there, and it was the start of the BTK killer. So it was around the time when he was starting to kill people and they were noticing things were starting to happen and they were trying to connect all these murders together. And it was the BTK killer. You saw it happening. And that was left very open-ended at the end of season 2. Like, it was very much a long time before he even gets captured. So, I really kind of hope that they can keep going because I would love to keep following that if we can. But yeah, so I guess we'll see what ends up happening if there's a season 3 or not. But it's on Netflix. Highly recommend. It's dark. So if you like stuff like that, oh my gosh, I loved it. Okay, let's go to Lucifer. So I finished Lucifer. Okay. This one started out on a network and then went to Netflix after a couple of seasons, I think. And this one follows Lucifer, the devil, literally. He's living in Los Angeles. He decides to take a vacation and he stays in Los Angeles for a while. And he ends up meeting a detective with the Los Angeles Police Department. And he becomes pretty enamored with her and ends up actually teaming up with her and her team to help solve murders. So he's the devil living among people. Okay. So this series as a whole started off really strong for me. I absolutely loved it. I loved the actor who played Lucifer. He was fantastic. And I like that Lucifer never really changed. So it was just great. I really liked it a lot. Season 5 and 6, I would say kind of definitely went downhill for me. It got a little weird. It got to be a little cheesy. I almost felt like the acting got a little bit worse once it went to Netflix, which was weird. I was like, I thought maybe going to Netflix, they would be a little bit more risque, which they were. They were able to like do a little bit more, say a little bit more, show a little bit more, and they did. But I felt like the acting got worse. I felt like it got cheesier. And then there was a whole episode where they were singing. Like, okay, every show is doing that right now. It's not my favorite thing. So I don't know. It was just very, very interesting. I really didn't enjoy season 6. And there was even a couple of parts and a couple episodes where I was just fast forwarding through because I didn't like the storyline and where it was going. So I was just like, so like, I didn't want to see it. So yeah, I don't know, but I finished it. So it's done. I liked the way it ended. I thought it ended well, but I don't know. It ended up not being my favorite. So it started really strong and then just kind of went downhill. So by the time it was done, I was really ready for it to be done. But yeah, so that was interesting, but it's off my list. I have completed the entire thing now. And then also on Netflix, I watched The Home Edit and I watched season number 2. I love this show. It's super fun. I love the girls. I love shows that go in and clean and organize people's places. I think it's fantastic. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I watched it in like 2 days, I think, because it wasn't super long, but Kevin Hart was in one of them, which is really awesome. He wasn't a client, one of his friends was, but he like called in and they were able to talk to him and stuff. So that was fun. But yeah, it was good. Okay. And just last night, we finished watching Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. And this was a 6-part miniseries, I think. I don't think there's going to be another season from what I'm understanding. I think this is kind of like just tying up this little timeline here in the Star Wars universe. And we really liked it. We really liked it a lot. I kind of finished it going, okay, there wasn't any big like aha moments, I would say. But it was an interesting timeline and the acting was fantastic, obviously. And I love that they brought Hayden Christensen back to play Vader. I thought that was fantastic, even though you really only saw his face once and it was like kind of a flashback to when he was still Anakin. But he was the person in the suit and he was the one walking around and stuff. So that was cool. And then you kind of do see that in the last episode. You know that it's him. There's a certain reason why. So I thought that was really neat. So yeah, and good action, like good lightsaber action, which we always appreciate in Star Wars, right? So yeah, but it was good. Okay, a couple documentaries that I watched on Netflix. I watched The Social Dilemma, which is old, I know. I'm late, way late to this one, but I finally said, I'm going to watch this now. Because I definitely notice when I'm talking about something, all of a sudden ads for that thing will show up on my phone. And I'm like, yeah. Or if I'm on a website and then I go to another website and then there's ads for that website I was just on, I'm like, So, I wanted to go and watch that just because it's definitely like something of interest and I wanted to kind of know how all of it works. And I love that there were former employees talking about these things, former CEOs talking about these things. And it was very, very eye-opening for sure. And I liked the dramatization of it as well. There is a dramatization aspect of it, and it definitely showed like a little political side of it, which I was just like nodding my head. I'm like, yep, that's how political stuff gets blown up and people get riled up and you know, things happen because of that. And it was very, very interesting. I really liked it a lot and definitely eye-opening and just made me much more aware of why things are popping up on my phone and why ads are being shown to me and definitely making me skip over them a lot easier. And then I watched the LuLaRoe documentaries. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one of them was called Lula Rich. This is on Amazon Video. You guys, these people. Okay, so LuLaRoe is a clothing company. It kind of started out as like, you know, big shirts and dresses, and maxi skirts was like their big thing when they first started. And then they went into leggings, and that's where it just kind of blew up. Everyone wanted the leggings, and they made this big, huge thing about, you know, you get what you get and you don't have a choice in things. You can't just order what you want. You have to, make sure they're available. Does your seller have them? And so it became a multi-level marketing company where the only way you could get LuLaRoe is if you bought through one of their representatives or one of their consultants or whatever. And they would mail out boxes of inventory to their consultants, but the consultants had no idea what was coming to them. They had no idea what patterns they were going to get. And they would do live unboxings and they would be so excited and they would start selling things and blah, blah, blah. And it was supposed to be very lucrative and you could make millions and millions of dollars off of this, blah, blah, blah. And then the more people you recruit, the more money you get because you piggyback off of their sales, all that stuff. Oh, man. Okay. I have already come to a point in my life where I will not buy anything from my multi-level marketing company again. I've already kind of come to that decision, but these documentaries, because there's 2 of them, have definitely solidified that decision for me because I'm seeing how much they hurt people. They hurt people. They help some people, but a lot of people they hurt. And you're seeing that happen because there are former consultants on there telling their stories, telling how excited they were and how they were made all these promises and blah, blah, blah. And the reality of it is not what is being sold to them, definitely. And then all these issues that happened. And then I'm sitting there watching, especially the LuLaRich one, because LuLaRoe was taken to court a few times because of bad inventory and, people putting their life savings in here and losing it all. And basically have been sued for, damages and stuff like that. And you're seeing these owners on the stand and not answering any questions and pretending like they have no idea how their own business works. Yeah, you do. You created it. You should know how your business works. It was just incredible to me how much they are not taking any responsibility for what is happening to people who have given them their life savings. So very eye-opening on that. So LuLaRich was one. The one is called The Rise and Fall of LuLaRoe. And that one is much more going into the former consultants. That one's much more heavy on that. There is that in the other one as well, the LuLaRich one. But this one is much more heavily focused on the former consultants and how this company completely ruined their lives. And it's very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening. Yeah. So it definitely solidified my decision not to put money into companies like that anymore, ever. Because, hello. I have been around people who have done that and sold those. I even tried to sell scrapbooking supplies when I was first married. And it was kind of like that. It was Creative Memories and I was, a consultant, and it did not go very far because I'm not a salesperson at all, not even a little bit. So I don't know why I was trying, but, yeah. So I have friends who have sold the nails and who have sold shampoos and who have sold LuLaRoe and Pampered Chef and all the things. So, I definitely have pumped money into those companies before, but I am no longer doing that. And watch those documentaries and you'll see why, for sure. Very eye-opening. And I was just fascinated the whole time. And I kept messaging my friends. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's fascinating. Okay. And I have DNF'd 2 shows. I tried to go back to them and I just realized I'm not into it anymore. So the first one is Homeland. Now, I started watching Homeland, I think when it first started. I was totally into it, watching it every week, blah, blah, blah. And for Homeland, I was going into season 6. It had been a long time since I'd watched it, but I still remembered what was happening and, the overall feel and plot of the show. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to this and see what I think. I think I watched 3 episodes and I was like, I don't care. And Claire Danes is driving me nuts. Which I kind of knew her character was like that. She's been like that through the entire series, but I think I just kind of got over it and I was not interested anymore. So I didn't really care and decided, I think I'm just done with this show. yeah, if you don't have me by the third episode, I'm good. And the second one kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We only have the last season to watch. And my husband and I, we watched this together. But we started watching season 8, which is the last season. I think we got 4 episodes in and we said, okay, we're done. And the reason is it was very, very heavily social justice stuff. And I'm so picky about that because sometimes I can handle it, but most times I can't, because that's stuff that I see every single day in the news and every single day all over everything. I don't want it in my entertainment as well. I understand it's reality. I get that. I see it. I see it all the time. So when I'm looking for books or movies or TV shows to keep me entertained and to kind of help me escape from all that, I don't want it in there as well, for the most part. So we were watching and it started and we were like, okay, let's just see how heavy it goes. If it's just a little bit, like whatever, that's fine. But it was very heavy and it was in every single episode. And so Josh and I both were like, I'm good. You good? Okay, we're good. Like neither one of us wanted to see it. So we're not going to finish that, which is unfortunate because we really, really liked that show. But just, yeah. And I know that's a personal preference. I get it. But, you know, we both agreed like, nope, we're good. Okay, so that is what I have completed lately. And I do have some things coming up soon that I want to watch. I'm working on finishing the second season of The Morning Show, but I'm not quite at the end yet, so I don't have full opinions on it quite yet. But as soon as I'm done with that, that'll probably be on my next round for sure. And I definitely want to watch the new documentary on Netflix about Warren Jeffs. I can't remember the full name. It's something like Keep Sweet something and Obey. I don't remember the third word. But I want to watch that for sure. Definitely plan on watching that here soon. So that should be coming up here too. Those are definitely 2 things that are on my mind that I want to make sure I sit down and watch. And my husband and I are going to watch the second season of Only Murders in the Building for sure, because that actually starts tonight, which the day I'm filming. So that's exciting. So that will definitely be coming up too. We are very excited about that. And I think that's all that's really on my radar as of right now. So I'm sure I'll watch a whole bunch more before I do another update on it. But that's what I've been watching lately. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you watched any of these. Do you guys DNF shows? Let me know that too. And if you have, what have you DNF'd recently? I want to know that. I think we talk a lot about what we finish, but not a lot about what we DNF. So let me know if you have done that. Okay. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.